Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on the ESGNet, and this is the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise here on Madden 17, and this is Steeler Nation episode 23 as we take a quick look here at weeks 11 and 12, and then kind of preview what's coming up here in week 13 as you take a look there and see. And week 13 will be taking on the 6-5 Bengals there at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, and it's a big game because it's a Sunday night game. So take a look here at our injury report, and there you see of course Baer with that dislocated elbow. He will be out for at least one more week as he was taken out the week 11 matchup there, and we'll talk about that here coming up. But of course Hayward Bay, they're going to be out for a while too. So also take a look here as we get before we get to kind of look at our division here, but take a look around the league there. You see some of the teams at where they're at if today the season would have ended and where they would be ranked at. And there you see the Ravens. They're at the 32nd spot there, 1-9-1, and they would get currently right now they could get the number one draft pick overall in this upcoming draft. So 11-0 right now for the Steelers. There you see the Bengals 6-5. Browns 2-9, and the Ravens 1-9-1. This has been a pretty good year so far. We're doing great, pretty much for the majority sake of the team. Health been a kind of an issue here. We've got a couple guys getting banged up. Sean Davis recently came off the DL. He'll be back next week against the Bengals. And of course, kind of eerie because about this time last season we had some injuries there, some freak injuries. I think we just got back Baer, and here is ironically enough we won't have him in this game. But if I can remember correctly, we were playing the Bengals, and of course that was the game that we ended up losing, and we ended up having our first loss of the year. As you take a look here at the rest of the standings here around the league. But yeah, the Bengals put a loss on us there, and that's was the only loss that we had for the remainder of the year, and of course went on to do great after that. Won, I believe, 6 or 7 straight there, won the Super Bowl, and now we're back here in the same position here now. So we're kind of thinking that this may be the trap game for us. That this could be again another loss here that will have to put a reality check to us and kind of take back and just say, okay, this is the game that we're gonna have to if we lose this game, we gotta remember that we don't want this feeling of loss again. We're gonna have to nip in the bud, and this year we don't want that. We want to try to go undefeated here. At least at this point now, you kind of hints of going undefeated. It's been talked among guys in the locker room. Of course, you don't want to. That's not what you want to do. As you see right now, the Seahawks right now are undefeated. They're 11-0 also, so they're playing some really good football. But going 11-0 or going undefeated is nice, but it's not necessary. It's not a necessary thing. It's kind of one of those. Kind of a cherry on the top of the Sunday. You're not really expecting it, but at the same time, we are gonna at least mention it here at this point that it would be nice going undefeated, but our main goal here is just to get into the playoffs and then get through the playoffs and make a run for the Super Bowl. Try to make it back there. Just take a look here at week 11. We took on the Patriots. Ben Roethlisberger, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Completed 66% of his passes going against Garoppolo, who just got manhandled. He got sacked 5 times, and our defense just did a great job there. Kind of wish we had control of the running there against their run. But yeah, for the most part, we did at least halfway decent job with them there on the field. You see Jesse James, 7 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown there for him in that ball game. Brown also 1 touchdown. He had 4 receptions, 61 yards, and then Green 4 receptions, 44 yards, and 1 touchdown. we were able to keep Gronk off the pretty much on the field quiet. I believe he had maybe a couple of catches, but he did not have any in the end zone. Same thing with Amidala. There you see 4 receptions, 30 yards for him. Lane, he did have 4 receptions and 63 yards, had a touchdown, the rookie there. But for the most part, some of the key players that we kind of mentioned there in the last episode of Steelers Nation towards the end there about the Patriots and what we had to do there. We actually were able to accomplish that. We actually were able to kind of shut those guys down and not really get them fired up. Now, Hightower, oh my goodness, he had a great game there. 12 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and he had an interception. And I believe that interception was a pick 6. He ran that one back. He was just a really tough guy there in that game defensively, and we just had to try and maneuver around him and try to just avoid him as much as we possibly could. Our guys there, we got 2 sacks there from Cameron. He did a great job there. Really, I mean, they put some pressure on that quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, just the poor guy just was getting manhandled there and just been taken for a ride in a lot of those plays there. And then that's what we had to do. We had to, just get him off his toes there. We couldn't let him sit in the back in the pocket because, he is one of those disciples of Tom Brady, who I'm sure Tom, taught him to do a lot of different things when it comes to that game. And, of course, with not him having too much experience to be on the field, that kind of helped us out there. So we were able to do that, and that's what helped us pull out the victory here in this ball game. Go ahead and move on to now week 12, and this was the Sunday night game that we just had here on the channel. And, of course, the Minnesota Vikings having a rough year here. This game was unique because they had both of their top 2 quarterbacks. They had Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Bradford both out because of injuries. And then, of course, they had both of their top 2 running backs out of this game. Of course, one of them being Adrian Peterson. So what do? Well, you put your third-string quarterback in and your third-string running back and see what they can do. They had a pretty decent game here for the most part. But when it came to the end there, we were able to get away with it and get out of there with a victory. Of course, there you see Jesse James again, 3 receptions, I should say, 18 yards and 1 touchdown for him. And we are able to be successful. Now, with Cobb, who's been stepping up here as of late, didn't have a huge factor for him as he was unable to really he got close to the century mark there. I think he had 88 yards, but nothing in the end zone there as they just really roughed him up there for a while. And I was getting kind of scared because I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, we don't have a third running back here. If he gets hurt, I mean, okay, well, the next wide receiver can step on up because you're going to be the new you're going to be the new running back. But that was not the case there. We were actually able to I think we literally had to abandon our running game there for a while, especially towards second half of the second quarter, going in at least all the way up to at least to the fourth quarter there. We had to cut down half of what we would normally run on running plays and pass there in a lot of those situations there. So that I will tip my hat to the Vikings defense there. They did a great job there. Really helped stopping the run there. Not let us get any traction when it came to the running game. So yeah, just a big tip of the hat to them on that one. And we'll try to see what we can do here coming up in this next game as we take a look here at the last part, the last 5 games or so we have left. We got the Bengals on the road, and then we got the very successful Lions, who are playing, Lions playing really good right now, and then the Browns, Texans, and of course the Jaguars are actually playing some pretty good football right now, and then we'll play them in week 17. But take a look here. There you see 40 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. Yeah, I know. Our goal was to stay around 10. Yeah, we're now gaining close to 20 here. 40 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, both leading in both of those categories there. And, of course, I just don't like leading in the interceptions and when it comes to that. But, he is having a good year here. We just got to get rid of those interceptions. I know, at least I know, a lot of people have been asking around, a lot of reporters talking to, during practice conferences like that, are asking if Ben's having some eye issues, if he needs to, get his eyes examined and maybe get some prescription, because he's been throwing into coverage. And of course, a lot of the quarterback's coach are just saying, hey, he's just, pressure on the field and not getting the timing, which in a lot of cases that's true, because we've had trouble. We as you take a look here, he's been sacked quite a few times, or not as much as as you would think. That's just 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. But not having a good, because the offensive line is not top notch. That's something we're gonna have to work on as we go ahead and get closer and closer to off season and stuff like that. It's something we've been looking at. We're gonna have to take it. We have to just try to help protect them as much as we possibly can, and then just give him the best reads as we can, and hopefully he'll make make the decision, because ultimately it is his decision. He does have the ball in his hands to make the right call to the right guy. And not to mention too, it's just not just a quarterback thing, even though quarterback does get blamed quite often, because he is the kind of the field general there. But wide receivers, there's been some good teams here that have been covering us really, really well. And I think a lot of times I just the team just I should say, I kind of get out of character as a reporter, but I make bad decisions when it comes to passing. So that's something we're going to have to work on, and the wide receivers are going to have to try to break away from other the defenders here, the corners and safeties like that, coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So we don't have to fall into that. Also, too, I think, at least talking to a lot of quarterbacks coaches like that, he said that there might be there's actually a good possibility here that we'll see the other two quarterbacks come in the latter part of the game here, or maybe in some cases be put into the game there in certain play formations. To kind of get Ben some time off and just help him out when it comes to passing there. So we may see the other two quarterbacks, Gronkowski, I think that's what the other quarterback's name, and Laundry, be involved in some of the plays here coming up as we get to the last couple of games here this season. Take a look here, and those are your top players now for weeks 11 and 12. You guys can check those out, pause the video and whatnot. For the most part here, I think Ben might have been in week 11, I think, but I don't know. I could be mistaken. But yeah, there you see some of those, and you guys can just pause the video and check those out. But yeah, that's something that they were talking during the week, and that's something that they're gonna have to work on. They've been working on during practice, and also, just try to get that, kind of enforce that into the game plan here, coming again, especially against these Bengals. So take a look here at some of the league news here, and not too much news really about us, just some other teams here. You got, of course, the Chargers taking on the Cowboys this week, and of course Philip Rivers there trying to make a run there for a Super Bowl run. There's a lot of rumors saying this could be his last year, and then of course just some of the talking heads around the National Football League talking about some of these matchups that we have coming up this week. Other matchups here between games, like you got the Saints and Packers playing a game. Well, actually, we're talking about that was back in week 12, but just some news and notes there with what's going on here. Adrian Peterson, of course, trying to make a healthy comeback because, like I said, he's been out, and I think he's returning back for the first time now. I think he's been out for a couple of weeks. This will be his first week returning back to the ball club. So, and they need it right now because, even though I think they got another game with the Lions here, but they need it because the Lions right now are just running that house right there, with the division. So that is pretty crazy. Okay, so we'll take a look here at the Bengals. We've seen the injury report there for them. They got a couple of key injuries there. You got Eiffel there. He won't be in the game. But Andy Dalton will be in the game. There you see the 6-year man from TCU. A great arm there, and the red rifle, of course, just did a number on us last time we played them at the Paul Brown Stadium there in Cincinnati. There you see the numbers there. 19 touchdowns for this season with 11 interceptions, over 3,000 yards there, and of course a great quarterback rating there for him. Sacked 36 times here so far this season. He has completed 66% of his passes the course of the season. He is a guy that we're going to have to put pressure on. But saying that at the same time, he is good at pressure. At least I've noticed here, he's been really good at pressure and really doing a number on us when it comes to high pressure situations. We're going to have to see what we can do. Giovanni Bernard, there you see his numbers there too. A great runner. Kind of try to see if we can try to cap him, keep him in space, and just really get a better. And that's something we're going to work on too this offseason. Work on that rushing defenses. We I don't like being ran on that. Here lately, the last couple of games, man, we've just been having these nasty runs. And it's just like, oh man, this is sickening, because I thought we had that taken care of. But there you see the guy who will actually be the starter. He's been doing pretty well. He's been starting here the last couple of weeks because Bernard's been out for the injury. But Jeffrey Cutter, he played against us last time there at home, there at Heinz Field, and he put a number on us. He did a great job running the ball and really just putting that ball to the ground and just really going all out. Basically, 471 yards with 7 touchdowns there for the season, 2 fumbles for him. And like I said, just a great year for him for his rookie season. So we'll see if we can stop this rookie here in the backfield, especially if they both are on the field here. This is going to be something, because we have to have 2 different game plans. Covington can run right out on the outside and explode, and then of course Bernard can just stay up the gut and just really kill you right there, just head to head. AJ Green, there you see his numbers there, and of course by far one of those underrated quarterbacks that doesn't get too much love or too much talk about because he plays in Cincinnati. But yeah, definitely one of those top wide receivers there that a lot of fans love. A lot of fantasy players, fantasy owners pick him up as a player. At least I know in this year, I think he's going to be a part of my fantasy team in real life. But there you see the Georgia player, 6-year guy, 6'4", 207 pounds. He will be a guy that, of course, we will have the game plan around. And also, Brandon LaFell, former Bronco, now with the Bengals. And there you see his numbers too. A great route runner, and just overall, the second. Easily could be. If he was with Denver, he'd be the number 1 receiver. But here in Cincinnati, he is the number 2 receiver. And there you see his numbers: 4 touchdowns this year, a little over 500 yards through the air, and just having a great, pretty decent year here right now. But again, one of those players that we're going to have to maneuver here, and hopefully could be able to shut down. Defensively, Ray Mungalaga, oh my goodness, he just, last time we played against them at home there at Heinz Field, he really did a number on us. He was able to really be able to sit there in the zone and watch Ben and not do too much. I mean, he would. I think he did get a sack. I think he had 2 sacks on us, but just be able to just fly around the field that he does, and does it well for a big guy his size. Just did a great job last time against us. So you see 2.5 sacks for the year, 1 interception. Of course, I think that 1 interception came from us. But there you see his numbers there this year. And again, just a guy that we're going to have to, Ben's going to really have to keep his eye on him. And then we're just going to, passing wise here, we just got to, I think we're going to have to avoid going up the middle. If we do, it's going to have to be with the tight ends, so match him up with a guy hit about the same size as him, so we can get a good chance to to be able to catch the ball. Because when he hits one of our receivers, I mean, he hits them hard to the point where they'll end up dropping the ball there. So I think that's what was the case last time we played against them. And of course, Adam Jones, Pac-Man Jones there. There you see 5 interceptions this year. There you see 62 tackles for him. 47 of those were solo tackles. But yeah, one of the best, one of the few best guys out there in the corner position there. And of course, Cuba's been keeping his nose clean here in the last couple of years, and been playing pretty well here in Cincinnati. And of course, that's the person we're gonna have to try to avoid throwing to too much. Can't throw to his direction too much here in this game coming up here in week 13. So that is your look here at the weeks, of course, 11 and 12. Kind of taking a quick review there, and kind of just talking about some things that we seen in the game that we needed to change or try to improve as we go throughout the season. But yeah, week 13 we'll be taking on the Bengals, the 6-5 Bengals, and we'll see what we can do. Also, too, like I said, we got a big decision coming up. I believe it's gonna be. I think we got a chance to talk to the doctor, and he said that Bell could come back a week early, but I think we're just going to go ahead and be on the safe side. I think the coaching staff has already made a decision saying that no, we're going to wait a week, and we'll wait for him to come back. I believe when we play against the Lions, so that'd be a game that will benefit us here the most. So that is it here for week for another episode here on Steelers Nation here, episode 23, as we get ready for weeks 13 here in the NFL. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Steelers franchise here on the ESGNet. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr for the latest news and events here on the channel to know what's going on here when it comes to videos and when it comes to sports gaming and sports in general. So thank you guys so much again and for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode, like I said, of week 13 of this Steelers franchise. Thank you guys again, and as always, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you guys next time.